Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back with another book review. I recently finished reading The Light Between Oceans, and this is written by M.T. Steadman, who is Australian, himself or herself. It's actually a stunning novel. It is one of the best books I've read in a good long while. I just could not put it down for the life of me. I was transfixed to the book the entire time, and it's basically the story of two people fall in love and they get married and they want to have children, but unfortunately Isabel can't have any children herself. She's barren, and what happens later on is they find a man in a dinghy with a baby, and the man is dead but the baby's alive, and Isabel, after her 3 miscarriages, immediately takes the baby up and wants to do the best for her that she can, and she names her Lucy Violet. And when you read the book you figure out why she does this, and it's a very harrowing story. And later on you figure out that Lucy actually is kin to another character in the book who is married to one of the wealthiest men in Australia. And there's a lot about I can't even talk correctly. A lot about lighthouse keeping in the book itself, about Janice Island, and there's a map in here, and it's actually very helpful if you don't know what Australia looks like, or the territories. But takes place in Point Portuguese, where Janice Rock is. That's where the story focuses, and it's really quite the little gem, and there are parts of it that'll make you weep. I mean, it's very heart-wrenching, and the things that this couple goes through is so painstaking and intimate, but the author has this indelible ability to really focus to detail, and she weaves the tale so magically that you can see everything in your mind's eye. And I couldn't put this book down. I probably would have finished it in a day had I had a chance to do it, but it actually took me 3 days to do it since I'm working. But I have to say that The Light Between Oceans is probably one of the best books I've ever read. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's gorgeously written. It's very detailed. It's very emotional. It talks about the relationship between a man and a woman and the trials and tribulations that they come across on Janice Rock, and the different names that they give the different places they see, and the animals in the outback. Of course, most of them can kill you, and when they're raising little Lucy, or they call her Lulu, Luvi sometimes, they are really concerned with her well-being and making sure that she doesn't die of a scorpion sting or things like that. It's really quite harrowing, and it just makes you think that Americans don't know anything when it comes to turmoil or true hardship. Well, unless you count the Oregon Trail and other things, but this is completely different. It's this untamed land, kind of like a western setting. That's what I would equivocate it to, because the outback is very much similar to our Old West as far as I can understand it, and it's extremely hot, and the heat can be deadly as well, so you have to keep yourself hydrated, especially if you're like me, you're very light skinned. And I do tan, but I can overheat if it's humid. But in this case, it would be just burning, having a sunburn. But the tale is actually very intriguing, and one that you will become enraptured with immediately if you're like me and you enjoy psychology, just the human perseverance, the whole will to survive, adaptation, lighthouse keeping, the whole idea that comes with the responsibility of that. It's not just a responsibility of the lighthouse in and of itself, but responsibility as in taking on these new how can you say it? Taking on this whole new persona as Tom becomes husband and as he becomes father, and how much different he is, and how he sometimes feels distant to Isabel, and how she complains about that, and some other things. I mean, there's a little bit of a domestic problem within the story that they talk about. It's really kind of difficult, but it has a lot of insight about how this can come to happen, and it was really not his fault, honestly. And what happens to little Lucy is just absolutely tear-jerking. It's just really makes you very sad, and you just feel so much pity for Isabel and Tom, but you want the best for both of them. And it does end on a happy note, thankfully, but it's just absolutely incredible. It is truly a remarkable tale, even though it is fictional. And Tom, you do realize why he acts this way. It's because he was a war hero, and it describes his duty for Oz and all that, and he actually got awarded a War Cross, and that comes into play in the tale as well. It's part of his identity. And I think that also plays part in the fact that he is very stoic in a way. He's sterile, and he's kind of a loner, because he was more used to being so. It's just something that he had to wrap his mind around. And it talks about how love of Isabel invaded his heart. It sounds like some kind of epidemic, and it just sounds so medicinal and foreign and alien, and you don't really think of love in that way. It's not a virus. It's something that happens over time, I do believe. And you come to, and it actually talks about love in and of itself, and I found it very, very fascinating how love is actually discussed in this book, and how love does conquer all, obviously. And faith, Isabel's faith is, she's got the patience of Job, God love her, and it's quite the impressive, intriguing, mesmerizing story that will just keep you wrapped the entire time that you read it. And I give it 2 thumbs way up, 5 stars hands down. And I am actually, he doesn't know about this, but he may watch this later, and even if he does, my friend in England, he has a lot of family members, and most of the people from Australia are actually related to him. So I have decided that I should give this book to him for Christmas this year. And on the inside, actually wrote a dedication to him. It says, "Dearest Rob, I'm dedicating this magnificent, splendid book to you in hopes that you savor it for many years to come. I positively adored it. It is truly incredible and speaks the undying fervor of human will and perseverance. With all my love, sincerely, Elizabeth XXXOO." But anyway, I'm hoping that he will enjoy it when he receives it for Christmas this year. So that's about all I have to say for that.